Hello again, Dr. Childress here. And so in this video segment, I'm going to be discussing something called the attachment system, which is at the foundation of what's going on in this family and where some of the relationships have kind of gone amiss. Now, in order to understand what's going on and to what the solution is going to be to make that feeling of hatred and frustration and annoyance just go away, in order to understand that, we're going to need to understand some more about what this attachment system is. And it's essentially a basic fundamental motivational system in the human brain. It's analogous to motivating systems for hunger or reproduction. It's a basic biological motivating system called the attachment system that developed across millions of years of evolution, involving the selective predation of children. Predators are seeking the old, the weak, and the young. So that predators, when they're coming through the grasses and sneaking up on a human little troop or community, they're not looking at the adults. They're looking at the children. Children are prey animals. And because over millions of years, children have been prey animals and the selective targets of predators, a very strong motivational system developed in children and the human brain that strongly motivates children to bond to their parents. Because children who bonded to their parents received parental protection from the predator. Whereas children who bonded less strongly to the parents, well, they got eaten by the predator, and so their genes didn't get passed on in the gene pool. So over millions of years of evolution, a very strong motivational system developed that promotes children's bonding to parents. And it's not just to any adult, because if the child ran for protection to any old adult, well, that adult might not protect them. Okay? It was only a specific adult, the child's parent, the child's mother or father, who would protect the child. So the attachment system is very specific. And it's not only in humans, it developed across multiple species from the same source, a selective predation of children. So baby zebra gets close to mommy zebra. Now, the attachment system is characterized by two specific features. First, there's a possessive ownership to the relationship. So it's my mother, my father, my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister, my husband, my wife. There's a possessive ownership to the relationship that almost reaches property ownership levels. That person belongs to me, and I belong to that person. And that's the first characteristic of an attachment-mediated relationship. The second feature of an attachment-mediated relationship is a grief response when the attachment relationship is lost. So example, if your parent dies, you feel a grief response. Or if your child dies, or a brother or sister, or your husband or your wife, if they pass away, we have a grief response relative to their loss. Now, if the parent of the neighbor 2 doors down dies, we might feel sad for them, but we don't have a grief response as we do when my mother or my father or my child, my husband, my wife dies. And so the loss of an attachment-mediated relationship will naturally produce a grief response. Now, the issues that are involved in your family right now and the family relationships represent a distortion to that attachment system. Because the attachment system motivates bonding to parents, and here it is, you have this feeling that you want to escape the rejected parents. You want to flee from them and get away from them. You find them extremely annoying and don't want anything to do with them. Well, that's a very distorted kind of attachment system. That's not how the attachment system works. And what's going on here, let me, by way of analogy, talk about something that goes on with dogs. I've got a couple of dogs. I've got an Australian Shepherd and a Golden Retriever. And there's this disease or problem that happens with dogs sometimes where the intestine will twist up and get twisted in a knot. It's called bloat, so that the dog is unable to pass food through the stomach and through the intestine, and can actually kill the dog because of this twisted and knotted intestine that the dog has. Well, what's going on in this family that you're in right now is a similar process. It's a twisted and knotted attachment system that's not letting the attachment motivations achieve their desired goal. And it's a very basic and primary motivational system. It's, and again, it's analogous to the motivational systems for hunger and for reproduction. It is a fundamental motivational system in the brain to promote child bonding to parents. But in this family, your attachment system has gotten knotted and twisted up and is not fulfilling its function. And we see that in the rejection of a relationship with one of your parents. And so the family processes and relationships have become all distorted. And what I'm going to talk about in the next few segments is what that means and how that's producing the family relationships that we see in the family that you're in right now.